So in every word, action, and behavior, how we hire, fire, review, reward, in every capability, our word has to match those core values and what we say to be true.
I look at a business like bricks in a wall with the employees, and the more that you have consistency in terms of people that line up with those core values, the more you're going to have a consistent cultural framework that you can manage to across the platform.
Welcome to this special entrepreneurship episode of Sunny Silver Linings. This week, Sunny is focused on the common mistakes MSPs make, strategies to build a strong company culture to retain top talent, and tools to help you achieve your goals. Our guests today are both successful entrepreneurs with the knowledge and experience to help you grow your MSP. Joining Sunny today, we have Mitch Morgan, CEO of New Charter Technologies, and Kelly Knight, President and Integrator of EOS Worldwide, LLC. And remember, if you enjoy content like this, be sure to subscribe, like, and share. Now, here's your host, the founder and CEO of IT by Design, Mr. Sunny Kaila. Over to you, Sunny.
Hi, Kelly. Hi, Mitch. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Sunny.
Thanks, Sunny. Thanks for having us.
I appreciate you guys coming to my podcast. I have been waiting for this episode, this session, because you both are very special in my life. And I have so much respect for you both. And I really appreciate you taking the time to come to my podcast to share your valuable experience with my viewers.
Thank you, Sunny. I hope we don't disappoint. And similarly, you've done such an amazing job within the MSP channel of doing so many things that help companies to have better businesses.
Yeah, thank you, Mitch. So the first question I have, and this is a common question that a lot of MSP owners ask me, is that what is your advice for the MSP owner or a small, medium-sized business owner? And what do you wish you had known when you were first starting your own business or your career? So Kelly, we will start with you.
I wished that I had known that there are tools and resources that actually help small business owners from the very beginning. So, at EOS, our entrepreneurial operating system, there were so many tools: a scorecard, a vision traction organizer, which is a 2-page business plan, and an accountability chart that can actually help channel early stage organizations to just get lifted, get your legs underneath yourself and get going. So selfishly is part of our own organization's process, but it's also to just have first things first. And so when you're a business owner first starting off, you have this grand vision, but you don't necessarily know how you're going to get there. And it's being laser focused on getting the right people to come with you. I think so often we fall victim of what I refer to as warm body syndrome. You have your Aunt Cindy and Uncle Bob and Cousin Jerry, and you bring them into the organization, but they're not necessarily the right people to do the kind of work that's required to get your company lifted and off the ground. So people first, and having some real simple tools to kind of help you get a grip on your business.
So people, and then having tools, being resourceful, knowing what are the tools that exist and how you can leverage those. So thank you for sharing that. Mitch, you work with a lot of small, medium-sized business owners, especially in this niche we call MSPs. What is your advice to the MSP owners?
Yeah, thank you, Sunny. I've got a bit of a unique perspective. We've brought 23 companies into our New Charter platform, and almost all of those businesses started their business. And so I've had opportunities to have kind of fireside chats and have discussions with companies about what it was like back then and what were some of the key elements to success. And, I guess I'd say the first thing is don't limit your thinking. Sometimes business owners think too small. So you need to think about what this can become, and think big, and then the other part of it, I think, that's really been important for me and for our businesses is, as Kelly said, seek alignment, seek a communication cadence, utilize tools that are out there. I happen to be a huge fan of Kelly's work. And in fact, almost all of our companies are subscribers to her methodologies. And to have a methodology and a cadence and consistency is really important as you're starting out a business.
Yeah, that's great advice. And we are a EOS shop here as well at IT by Design. And I know when we did our first vision building, and I was like, what is this? Like overall first introduction to the tools that are available with the EOS, and reading the traction book and the story. That was really awesome, that offsite planning and everything. But our company changed. Our company transformed when we started using EOS. It kind of really helped us have the right rhythm, the planning, the 1 year, 3 year, 5 year. Now at least we have a business plan.
Yep.
And with the EOS, it gave us structure. It gave us like a little bit more alignment in terms of all the different components of that wheel that we see in the EOS. And yeah, so that is, I personally benefited so much from having access to tools like EOS. And so that is a great advice. Thank you for that. Now, second question that I have for you both is, what are some of the most common mistakes you see MSPs or SMBs make when it comes to growing their business?
Here's the thing. When you have a vision and you're really excited about it, you're passion filled, you're working toward the future, you're doing all the things that as a startup entrepreneur owner would do, sometimes we're less disciplined around data. So data is really important to, even at its very earliest stage, to really track what are the measurables, what are the numbers, the handful of really critical things that need to be either on track or off track to gauge how we're performing. So often as a business owner, and I've been one myself, so I've fallen victim to some of these things through real world experience, is to really define what are those measurables and to track them really consistently and religiously, and then make adaptations to how you're running the business. But in the absence of that, you're flying blind. You're essentially running the business on instinct and intuition and gut, rather than on the balance of using that God-given talent that you may have or unique ability around that and pairing it with great data to make really good decisions.
So data is key. There's so much wisdom in what you just said. It's so deep. Thank you for sharing that. But data is key. Mitch, what are your thoughts on common mistakes that MSPs make or SMBs make in terms of growing their businesses?
Following up on what Kelly said, in our industry, there's a common set of metrics, and there's a common set of communities. Most MSPs are localized businesses. Our industry, people love to share, and there's a number of really good consultants that have helped to guide the path toward what good looks like. And so being involved in the industry, in associations, and subscribe to the feeds, be involved in your groups, Sunny, and learn about what others have done to be successful. And as Kelly said, put that into pragmatic terms. Have a scorecard, a dashboard that you align to. The other mistakes I think MSPs make is they don't build for scale. Expect the business to grow and build it out. So don't overbuild, but build it so it can grow. Focus very much on processes, especially repeatable processes, because we're taking a common tool set to our clients, and let's make sure that we're servicing them in a consistent way across the platform. Then I think many MSPs, as they're getting started, they bring in technical talent and they forget about sales. And they also forget about client service and client expansion. So the whole function that we call VCIO, or technology or technical account managers that are looking to make sure there's client satisfaction and expand that relationship is really key. So don't focus on the initial relationship, focus on growing the relationship over time, but then also focus enough of your time and attention on sales and marketing activities, which for many business owners that get into the MSP space, it's not necessarily a natural behavior for them. So they need to be spending time and bringing in outside resources to support that.
Yeah. MSPs are more like trusted technology solution advisors, and people want to have that little bit more of it's relationship based.
Yeah, very relationship.
And when you try to centralize it, you kind of lose that, especially the hospitality side that Kelly, I've been hearing a lot from Dan Sullivan's customer experience versus hospitality. I think the hospitality piece also is important for small, medium-sized businesses like MSPs. So in terms of like the culture. Kelly, you mentioned people are important, tools. So can you share your insights, your experience on common culture mistakes, and especially in the new talent landscape? What's your advice to companies, SMBs? What can they do to win talent wars in the new landscape?
Mm. Well, probably the biggest cultural mistake that I see is just not being intentional about building trust with your people. So there's nothing worse than having inconsistency of actions, words, and behaviors that will kill a culture. So whatever your core values are that you define them to be, at EOS as an example, we have be humbly confident, grow or die, help first, do the right thing, do what you say. So in every word, action, and behavior, how we hire, fire, review, reward, in every capability, our word has to match those core values and what we say to be true. And so with consistency, that builds trust. When that's not occurring, you're not building trust. And trust is fundamental to scaling an organization. So whether you're small and hoping to grow quickly or more modestly, it doesn't really matter because that is central to that. But to really win, the second part of your question, I think it's a 3-step formula. This is one that I've long since used. It's not perfect, but it's pretty darn consistent and good. And that is, the first is to pay people well. I typically try to get folks in the 75th percentile. Your key, really grade A workers get in that 75th percentile for compensation. Part B is you empower them to do their best work, to live in their unique ability, not to be micromanaged, to do their work the best way they know how. They're the who, they decide how. And then finally, the third component is to value, trust, and appreciate them. People will work for that more than anything else, because most people of any age group, of any generation, from the research that I've been doing, really values being connected to the work and playing a role in something bigger than themselves. So to the extent that you're doing those three things together, retention's really high. You're just not seeing people leave because they're really part of something special and they feel like they're getting what they need. It's a win-win relationship.
Yeah. And when you do that, then you attract more top talent. People like
That's
them
right.
because, top talent will come normally from referrals. So you become more like a talent magnet where you attract more A players. That is great advice. Thank you, Kelly. Mitch, you work a lot with MSPs.
Mhm.
You probably look at many companies every month. So what are your thoughts on common culture mistakes, and how can you build a strong culture to attract and retain top talent?
Yeah. Well, Sunny, it really starts with the entrepreneur. It starts with the business owner. For us at New Charter, we need to make sure that person, individual, and the team is a good culture fit. We often make the statement that guy hasn't shown up yet in terms of the person that doesn't align with our values. And Kelly's right. Starting with core values and recruit to them, communicate them often, and manage the business by them. Oftentimes, a business will have a planning session and they'll go off somewhere and they'll write some core values up on the wall, and they may put it into a framed document or something that they put on the wall in the entryway to the company, and everybody walks by it every day and ignores it. Right? You've got to make sure that that's something that you're consistently putting in front of your people, and you're putting together hiring questions that test for those core values. And I look at a business like bricks in a wall with the employees, and the more that you have consistency in terms of people that line up with those core values, the more you're going to have a consistent cultural framework that you can manage to across the platform. And then the second thing is to have people aligned to the same purpose, cause, and passion, right? Everybody wants to be there for a reason. In our business, we want to create a business that the industry has not yet seen. And we're at $250 million in revenue, and we got our sights set on $7 billion or $1 billion by 2027. And we've got a path to get there. And so our people wake up in the morning aligned to a common vision and a common set of targets. And then what you really need to do is you need to communicate throughout the organization on a consistent manner and be very, very transparent. We have one strategic plan. It's actually in the form of a VTO. It's on our SharePoint site, and every one of our 1,000 employees can take a look at that anytime they want. Our quarterly rocks are very transparent because we can't get that done without them. And so people feel like they're involved in it, they're aware of it, and they're there to help to support the mission.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's great. Thank you for sharing that. And I do believe in, one thing when I reflect on, seeing small businesses and my own business as well, we are kind of small business as well. It's more, what can you do through collaborations, or what can you do, when you're better together as a group of companies. And, at the end of the day, it's about value creation for you, your team, your stakeholders, your customers. And in some situations, it's probably better strategy for a business owner to partner up with companies like New Charter to scale and create that value. And Kelly, my last question to you is, we are very familiar with the EOS system and the people component as well. So commonly tools that we use are like 555 to, there are few things that we use from EOS. But I would like to share with the world from an expert on EOS. So I want people to know what are the possibilities using EOS people component to build culture and attract top talent and retain top talent.
Sure, that's great. And I'd start by welcoming, we have free downloadable tools accessible right off of our website. So please go there and enjoy those. We take a lot of pride in giving a lot of things away for small business owners to use without having to engage with us in any way for fee. So that is there at eosworldwide.com. And there's a toolbox that has 20 different tools in it. And specifically as it relates to people, I love the Delegate and Elevate tool. It's a way of an individual assessing what they believe are their strengths, what they're really good at and love to do, versus things that maybe they're not very good at and they don't like to do. And there's a 4-quadrant exercise that you can go through. And that truly helps crystallize where that individual's time is best spent, right? Because we all have people, investments, and resources within our organization. We want them doing what is in their best unique ability to best serve themselves and the organization. So that's one of my favorites. And then the other one that you were alluding to is the people analyzer. And that is where you are reviewing each other. We do this in what's called a quarterly conversation, where I invite feedback for myself as the integrator. And I also provide feedback for my people in the area of core values. Plus, minus. Plus is if you're exhibiting that core value a lot of the time. Plus, minus is half the time or partially. And then minus would be if you're not exhibiting that core value consistently. So it's being on the same page with what we're witnessing and seeing in terms of living those core values, and then also having the get it, want it, and capacity for the role. And there's more information online where you can learn, well, what is GWC and what are all of these tools? But those are two of my favorite, Delegate and Elevate, and the People Analyzer.
Thank you, Kelly. And Mitch, what are the tools or resources that you recommend that MSPs can leverage to build culture and attract, hire, train, retain talent to win talent war in this, the new talent landscape?
Yeah, great question. Yeah, to be honest with you, as I mentioned before, we're sold on traction in EOS. I don't think you have to go very much further in terms of the tool set and the consistency. And that cadence is so important, and having the alignment of your people and communications internally. When I think about our industry, though, we're really kind of reaching the end of what I call the operational maturity model, which is being able to align on a common tool set and do things similarly and put automation to use for scale. There's, I think, a twin tower of future strategies that we're just right on the cusp of. One of them is AI-enabled service delivery, where we need to really focus on ways in which we can use automation more effectively. And then the second is helping our clients to achieve true digital transformation. I believe our clients are going to spend more money on technology. They're just going to spend it differently. and to kind of the core management services are kind of table stakes these days. We need to help our clients to be able to utilize the digital tools that are available to them and use it for higher levels of productivity and use them for ways in which they can serve their clients better. So we are headed toward really kind of a new frontier strategically. And I would certainly encourage all MSP owners to think more broadly about their business, think about vertical markets, think about specializations, think about ways in which they can enhance the Microsoft Modern Work set of tools and to be able to take new offerings to our clients because our clients are seeking to use technology to make their business better.
Yes, that is great advice. Thank you, Mitch. And Mitch, which one is your favorite EOS people tool?
Yeah, I love the VTO. I think it's so elegant. Front and back one-page business plan. Kelly, I was a broken down consultant from before, and we would write these big, thick strategic plans, and they'd go up on the wall, and somebody'd pull it down once every year and see how we're doing. But the VTO tool is a way to align where we want to be someday. What's our mission and vision? What makes us unique? To where do we want to be in 3 years? To what are we doing this year? To what are we doing this quarter? And that alignment is just simple and elegant, and I think it makes sense for all businesses because everybody in the company can understand it.
Thank you, Mitch. Yeah, the VTO gives that clarity. Give your team that direction, where you are, where you're going, 1 year picture, 3 year to that. So when your team have clarity, then they can contribute effectively using their unique talents, and that is the key to have success or business success. And thank you so much for coming to my podcast. I truly appreciate you, Kelly, and I truly appreciate you, Mitch. Thank you so much for coming to my podcast.
Thank you, Sunny.
Thank you for having us. It's always a pleasure, Sunny.
Thank you for watching Sunny's Silver Linings. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you next time.